So today, we're talking about a material that could totally revolutionize solar energy. I mean, it's cheaper, it's flexible, and it is shockingly efficient. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. The most powerful version relies on a seriously toxic element. So let's dive in and try to solve this puzzle.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Just recently, a team of researchers announced a massive breakthrough. Professor Lianjia Wang called it a major milestone, and honestly, it just might be the solution we've been looking for.
So what is this stuff anyway, and how in the world did a team of scientists crack one of the biggest problems in clean energy? Well, let's break it all down.
To really get what this breakthrough is all about, first we have to talk about the incredible promise of this family of materials called perovskites.
Now, what's wild about this slide is just the sheer speed of progress. I mean, look at this. In just over a decade, perovskite solar cells have gone from a pretty measly 3.8% efficiency all the way up to over 25%. That puts them right up there with traditional silicon cells, which, have had a decades-long head start.
But all of that amazing performance comes with the price. The best perovskites have a dirty little secret hiding right at their core.
And this slide, well, it lays out the whole dilemma perfectly. On the one hand, you get this insane efficiency, and they're super stable. But on the other hand, the key ingredient is lead, a powerful neurotoxin that's a huge risk for the environment and for our health.
At the end of the day, we can't build a truly sustainable future on a technology that might just create another massive toxic waste problem down the line. This one issue, this reliance on lead, has been the biggest roadblock to perovskites going mainstream. So naturally, this has kicked off a huge global race among scientists to find a safer, non-toxic replacement for lead that can still get the job done.
So what even is a perovskite really? Well, think of it like a recipe for a crystal. It's basically any material that follows a very specific structure, with the formula ABX3. You've got these three main parts that have to lock together in a very, very precise way.
So let's take a closer look at that recipe. You see that B atom right in the center of the crystal? In the best performing perovskites, that's lead. So the whole game for researchers has been finding a different element to swap into that B spot without making the whole crystal structure fall apart and lose its amazing ability to soak up sunlight.
The search pretty much narrowed down to two main contenders, tin and bismuth. They've got properties that are kind of similar to lead, which makes them good candidates. But, as you can probably guess, each one came with its own set of problems.
Now, the most promising candidate has always been tin, but for years it's been held back by one critical make-or-break weakness. It's just not stable.
Yeah, unlike its super stable lead-based cousin, tin-based perovskites have this really nasty habit of just falling apart. Tin oxidizes, it basically rusts super easily, especially when it's exposed to air or moisture. This has made it almost impossible to use in a real-world solar cell that needs to last for years.
So how did the researchers finally solve this puzzle? They came up with a completely new chemical strategy. By taking control of how the tin crystals grow, and by mixing in some special additives, they were able to build much higher quality, more durable solar films, right from the ground up.
And this new method didn't just work a little bit, it completely shattered expectations and set a brand new world record.
After all those years of disappointing results, the big question was still hanging in the air. Could this notoriously flaky material ever be efficient enough to actually compete?
And the answer, it turns out, is a huge, resounding yes. The team achieved a certified world record efficiency of 16.65%. For a lead-free solar cell, that is a massive, massive leap forward.
And as Professor Wang said, efficiency was always tin's biggest problem. Now look, 16.65% isn't at the same level as lead yet, but what it does is prove that the performance gap can be closed. This really opens the door for a whole new generation of safer solar technology.
Okay, so this breakthrough doesn't just solve one problem. It opens up a ton of completely new possibilities for where and how we can use solar power. And just to give you a quick peek under the hood, these are a couple of the different blueprints for the cells. The designs can vary a bit, but the main idea is the same. They're made of these ultra-thin layers like a sandwich, and each layer has a very specific job to do in turning sunlight into electricity.
So where does the technology go from here? Well, the next big frontier is stacking different kinds of solar cells right on top of each other.
And this leads to a really exciting idea called a tandem solar cell. The concept is to stack a perovskite layer right on top of a traditional silicon one.
The perovskite layer is great at absorbing high-energy light, like blues and greens, while the silicon underneath gobbles up the lower-energy reds. By working together to capture more of the sun's spectrum, these tandem cells could, theoretically, smash right past the 30% efficiency barrier.
So this leaves the entire field at a kind of crossroads. You've got two clear paths forward. Do we keep pushing for non-toxic materials like tin, even if the efficiency isn't quite there yet? Or do we stick with the super efficient lead but get really good at sealing it up and recycling it to manage the risk? That debate is very much alive and well right now.
Which brings us to our final question. We now have a non-toxic crystal that has proven it has real potential. So, is mastering materials like this the final piece of the puzzle we need to power our world safely and sustainably? Well, only time will tell.